Who's eating all my plants? Well, that's the whole purpose of your plant, is to be eaten, it's food. That's the whole purpose of the flower, is not for us. The purpose of the flower is to be beautiful, to attract pollinators. It's not for humans. Now it has that secondary effect, but plants exist to be part of the food web.
There are certain insects that rely specifically on certain plant species to be able to survive. A lot of people know the story about the milkweed and the monarch butterfly. A lot of people don't know about species like the Karner blue butterfly. This butterfly species, which is federally threatened, can only survive if there's wild lupin, Lupinus perennis. Without wild lupin in the landscape, we don't have Karner blue butterflies. That's just one example of where a species is totally lost from the landscape without having that native plant species here. There are many, many, many examples like that.
Oak trees harbor a large diversity of Lepidoptera larvae. Well, guess what? Birds feed their young. In fact, a lot of our birds are neotropical migrants that winter in the tropics that migrate through here in the spring to places further north. Their migration is actually timed to the trees leafing out in that hatch of caterpillars. So those caterpillars actually fuel their migration going north. So if we were to lose our oak trees, then we're going to lose all those Lepidoptera larvae. It's a cascading effect if you start to lose your native plants.
Trying to save one species is also not the goal. The key for any ecosystem, any living ecosystem to thrive, whether it's plants, animals, humans, is diversity. If we don't have plants, we don't have bugs, we don't have bugs, we don't have birds and mammals and everything else.
That connection to me is just fantastic to think about and amazing to think about. And I don't know how somebody can't get excited when they actually start to see those connections. So I think we can all help to nurture the web of life by protecting our natural areas. Even by planting plants in our yards, in our landscapes, means taking care of the base of that web of life. A lot of times these plantings aren't going to bring in the specialist insects necessarily. Things like the Karner blue butterfly aren't going to show up if you just plant lupin in your yard. But a lot of the generalist insects will. And it's really amazing to watch how these plants serve as magnets for native insects.
A lot of people think that they don't have a green thumb. And normally that turns out not to be true. It just takes a little time and experience. But with native plants, they're very adapted to this climate, so they don't need a lot of fuss. It's a great way to get into gardening, and gardening is a great way to get to know our natives.
By planting native plants in your yard, you are helping to nourish the web of life.
But we also care about the natural areas, the forests, the wetlands, the prairies that are the homes for these native plants. And conserving those natural areas is a fundamental part of what the Indiana Native Plant Society is about.